See, running in your leathers, running in a boot, you've already got your helmet on. Man, it's like sort of Darth Vader. Oh, that was well done. Handstand, did you see that? Oh, and the auto qualified. Ready? One, two, three, four, five. Out, they're running, across they go. Who's trying to get to the start? Who can get there first? Remembering they were dead engines, Here we go. Looking at somebody give them a little bit of a push. They were holding their bikes, but they got a little bit of a push to get away as well. So as they clear across, of course, they've all gone across the line as well, and it always happens. Le Mans start very rarely with a field of a dozen or more will you get everybody to get away, and there is one there not taking the fire up that he would have otherwise have liked to. So Mike Patchett, Jacob Stroud, Alex Butts and Grant Cullen, and there is the last rider away, unfortunately. So always got to be one with the bad luck is the rest of the field. Take it off with Carl Cox Motorsport as we go racing everybody. Building up, of course, to our Legends modified program this morning, but remembering the MMX is underway. So if you're here on the outside of the circuit, do take an opportunity and check it out. Phil, did it entice you as well? Are you going to go for a good look? It did, but they just finished. I got to see one jump. Oh, there you go. But I changed it to my natural lead. More to the point. All right, that's good. Here we go on a Sunday morning. Last night there was too much talking going on, so there wasn't as much discussion of what was. So we had the nature's call this morning, so we've been a bit lucky there. Well done to all of those involved. What a magic weekend. Well, of course, it's all happened, folks. It's all happened. And what we're talking about is that last night we heard this amazing story, and to back it up, we got the video clip. And it's the story of Steve Parrish and the bus. Now, people can go to Donington Park, of which where this one was, and you can hop on a bus and get a tour around the track. And what had happened was there was a bus driver, for whatever reason, couldn't make it. So Steve Parrish, truck racing champion, so a bit of a dab hand at anything as weighty as more than 5 kgs or
anything with a big steering wheel.
In that case, so he hopped on board, and it did have a speed control at 40 kilometres an hour. Well, when they took the video clip at the speedo, he was doing in excess of 90, so that crowd certainly got their value for money. So what's happened is Hampton Downs have got a bus today. So some people are luckily being included in having a lucky run on the bus today. So we're going to have a bus. Well, it's not quite a race, but you get the idea. Steve Parrish has taken the bus around Hampton Downs here today. So amazing what people's resources have done since hearing last night about the story. Hampton Downs have tracked down a bus. They've got it here to the track today, and you could be on the bus if you're lucky enough. And we also have those people that are out giving away the tickets to that. And along with the Hampton Downs crew that will be on board, we're going to have a full bus load of people to have a bit of a pacey run around the scenic tour.
And Steve took his dad, the legendary Jimmy Richards, for a couple of hot laps in one of the plumbers' vans around here at Hampton Downs. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It'll be good. It'll be a great way to see a different perspective of Hampton Downs. And I know when they had a public bus here for that meeting as well, and it was very well received. Lots of people queuing up to get on that bus. Because for people that are sitting in the stands, you know, if you don't come down for the grid walks and you don't, you know, go and change your position from time to time, you're not going to be able to get as close as you can to the track here at Hampton until you do something like that. And I guess it's all free, and it's all part of the service of the Mike Perra Real Estate Motor Fest. While I was just outside there, I saw Robbie Phillis and a couple of the boys, so they're surfacing, so hopefully we'll get Robbie and maybe Stu Avant and a couple up to today to have a chat with us up here in the Combox. This race continues. It's the Hyosung Le Mans start. It was Michael Patchett in the front from Jacob Stroud and Grant Cullen the first time round. Let's see what the gaps were. There's nothing in it, 0.14 of a second on that last lap. Let's see what it'll be this time as they work their way around the circuit. And just having a look on the Ctas cameras, it is close, and this is what the Hyosung Cup has been since the inception. Ken and his team at Spectrum, and also and motorcycling in New Zealand for finally putting it on the National Championship calendar.
Here, indeed, we love all of those points and agree 100%. And also for the fact that, in all politeness, these are less known riders. They're just people that want to get involved in the sport. And if you're not going to have this platform to do it, they could have chosen to go-kart racing or be doing anything else on a Sunday. We want them on a motorcycle track. We love them in our sport. So people like Michael Patchen, Grant Cullen, Alex Bunsen, I'm not being rude to the guys, but you got Jacob Stroud. Well, Jacob's been a winner of this class before, so you've got that opportunity to see him out there. But hey, a lot of the other guys are lesser known, and I'm loving it because it's their day in the sun. And what a day in the sun we've got here at Motorfest. Highest sung a part of it. Let's captivate and enjoy it.
And we talk about how close the racing is. Fastest man on the track in that last lap was the guy in 5th place. It's Whakatani's Nick Burke with a 2:05.011. The race leader, 2:05.708. So once again, there is absolutely nothing in the front. You mentioned Jacob Stroud, of course. He's currently 4th as he went across the line that time round on his machine, racing 4 classes today out in the R6 Yamaha for a bit of a play there. I think that's No Hair Racing bike of Greg Percival. Out in the Super Lights and also in the Hyosung and also in one other. I'm just trying to think what it is, but he's got 4 bikes out there. He's got the KTM, he's got the Kramer, he's got the the R6, and he's got the Hyosung. So he's going to be a tired boy by the end of this weekend. At the moment, he is currently sitting in 4th place, but Michael Patchett must be quite a sprinter because he's doing a heck of a job at the moment.
Yeah, great to watch indeed as these guys, and if you look at their geography, Auckland, Hamilton, Mokotani, so either locals or within the catchment area, and guys that are loving being part of their Hyosung Cup racing, thanks to Carl Cox Motorsport. Couldn't do it without them. Awesome to have them on board to be part of New Zealand motorcycle racing at its best. And of course you need to do the updates, folks, and talk about Carl Cox Motorsport. And if you're unaware of Carl and his feats, well, there's the definition of a legend. Absolutely music legend of the highest caliber, and what he has done then to contribute back into our sport is just amazing. So a huge thanks to the team, of course. Gav Sokolich manages the team here for Australasia, based out of Tauranga here in New Zealand, and it's an honour to have him putting it back into motorcycling. And Carl himself, of course, well, he takes plenty of opportunities to come back. He's actually got a New Zealand place that he stays in Picton, and he calls that his home when he comes here. And the reason he likes that, why? Because you admittedly can go to Auckland, you can go to Christchurch, you can go anywhere from here. So he really enjoys it, and it's fantastic to have his support. Carl Cox Motorsport, Hyosung Cup. The difference, they're all on the Hyosung GT250R. This amazing little motorcycle available from still great dealers like Spectrum Motorcycles and others to get involved in having it as a commuter. Of course, 250, you talked about the New Zealand Herald and doing that test that they did to find out who was better, the walker, the cyclist, the person on the bus taking your car or going by train. They left a motorbike out. It would have beaten all of those, Phil. And a Hyosung GT250R, well, I'd have backed that one every time.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd have got through the traffic for the 10 kilometres to get into the heart of the city, and then have got a free park as well. Did they add that part into it as well? So check it out. You can't do any better than motorcycle. But they talk about traffic congestion, clogging the motorways. Man, if 50% of them hopped on a motorcycle, we'd fix our roading problem instantly with a click of the fingers and be having a whole lot more fun to go with it.
That and not dropping your kids off at school, but that's another story. We've got a new race leader in the Hyosung Cup. It's Grant Cullen now. He's got in front of Michael Patchett just before they crossed the stripe that time round. So, but there is 3 or 4 of them together. Jacob Stroud is in that group as they're working their way out of the double bastard and into the Porsche Dipper. If you're looking to see them on the circuit, that's where you'll find them. Great spectating point there here at Hampton Downs. You get to see them working hard up the hill and then hard on the brakes again, and then down the little short chute to the bottom of the circuit, the Dale ITM Pirelli Sweeper.
And we have got to continue with this conversation because, thank you, I've received a note here, Phil, about the Model T Fords. They all had black undercoat.
Well, there you go.
So we've heard it from a black undercoat, and then the final coats were sometimes different, but they were all started in being painted black. So all I presume is obviously the chassis and all the other parts. It was just the outer body that might have changed colour, the blues, the green, and others. So there you go.
Jacob Stroud's gone to the front here, getting back to the racing. But Nick Burke looked like he was full of racing there. He had a first purple patch in his first sector, so he now might have just dropped his lap times a little bit more. He's in the 202s. He's the only bike on the track that's in the 202s, and he was sitting in 4th place as they went across the line with 1 lap to go, and he looked very, very rough.
at 2:04.
Yeah, so we've got a new track record.
Yeah, well and truly, man. That's taken 2 seconds off there. That's not just beating it. That's thrashing a track record. Great to see. Well done.
Now, getting back to the Model T, I'm just going to check this. Oh, well, yeah, right, no, we'll go for it. Yeah, but you see, you can paint any colour you like undercoat. But as I said, none of them are black. Well, you could get black ones, but you could also get green and blue ones. I'm sticking to that.
Okay. Oh, yes, and I'm sure that is right itself, but obviously the black was the first part. The first bit of paint it got was the black, and then the body got another job over the top, so well done.
It's like nowadays it'd be grey, wouldn't it? Everything undercoat's grey, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right, let's get back into the serious stuff, and that is the Hyacinth Cup. There. He's gone back to second. In fact, he might have gone back to third now, because I think I'm picking it's Nick Burke up into second place. We'll have a look as they work their way down the short chute, heading into the sweeper at the bottom end of this 4-kilometre international circuit. As we mentioned before, the lap record is going to be absolutely smashed this time around by Nick Burke with that 2:02. That's nearly a second and a half off the existing record, which was only set yesterday, remember. So it's a moving feast. It's changing all the time. Jacob Stroud hit that one at 2:04.544. Let's have a look as they come over the hill. Checkered flag will be out. Who's it going to be? It's as close as you like. And down the inside goes Grant Cullen. So he was back in 4th place as they went around the sweeper that last time. So he's had a great drive coming out of the sweeper and heading up the hill. And he's won it from Patchett, who led it for the first 3 laps. Jacob Stroud goes across the line in 3rd place and the fastest man on the track. And again, he's done a pretty good lap, this time at 2:04, was Nick Burke from Wakatani. So the Aucklanders and a man from Waikato, I'm pretty sure that's where the Chiefs come from, but we won't go there, is the 3rd place man, and that's Jacob Stroud. But I've got to say, Andrew used to live in Howick in Auckland, so I'm going to consider him a Blues fan. I'll tell him about that when I see it.